it is important that we keep the faith. As believers, we have to hold fast to what we believe in. We have to honestly believe that we're going to get just what we're asking God for. Hi, I'm LaWanda Shields with Too Cute Life Lessons, and today we're talking about why we as Christians need to keep the faith. And it is imperative that we keep the faith, because if we as Christians are not believing what God told us, then how can we expect someone who is not a firm believer or a firm Christian to hold fast to their faith? You know, God told us in his word, he said he's not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. He said it, and indeed he was going to bring it to pass. So if God has made you a promise, if you trust and believe in God for something, it is important that we hold on to that faith, that we know he's going to do just what he said he's going to do. I'll give you a perfect example. Several years ago, my sister told me that God promised her he was going to pay off her student loans. And I was like, okay. I believed her, but there was always this little element of doubt, because if you know anything about student loans and women, basically look at the statistics, most of us owe more student loans than men. And as African-American women, because that's what I am, usually we owe more than the other basic women. So I was like, okay. But she kept telling me this. I know this was 8 to 10 years ago. She said, God promised me he's going to pay my student loans off. He's going to promise me he's going to pay my student loans off. And she was persistent in this. And this is, like I said, this was years ago. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I'm trusting and believing with you. And I was. But like I said, in the back of my mind, there was a little shadow of doubt. But she was firm in her faith. And I mean, this was years ago. And lo and behold, this year, she could not wait to pick that phone up to share with me about the letter she received, and to tell me that her student loans had been forgiven in full. And I rejoiced with her, and I was so excited, because I remember she said, see, I told you. Y'all didn't want to believe me, but God promised me he's going to pay these student loans off. He told me not to worry about them, to pay them. Go ahead and pay them, but not to worry that I wasn't going to have to pay the full amount. I'll be dog if she was not right. God provided a way, and her student loans are now forgiven completely in full. Her balance is zero. So if you also have something you're believing God for, don't get discouraged. Know he's going to do just what he said he's going to do. He may not do it when we want, but he is going to do it. We just have to trust and believe that he is going to bring it to pass. You know, I gave the example before about people watching us, that we are role models. We are a light for the rest of the world. And so it is imperative that we are firm believers, that we are demonstrating what we say, that we are walking the walk, not just talking the talk. But when we say faith, we have to demonstrate faith ourselves. We have to have faith and believe God's going to do just what he said. We look at our father Abraham. Abraham was promised a son by God. He said, look at the stars. He told him that his descendants were going to be numerous. And at that time, Abraham did not have a child in this chin world. But Abraham did not doubt. He trusted and believed God that he was going to get that son. And we know that he received that son. And that son's name was Isaac. And it was many years later, after he had lost his strength, after his wife was well past childbearing age, that God blessed him with a son from his body, his natural body, his wife's natural body. So we can't have to be like Abraham. We cannot give up. We have to trust and believe that it is going to come to pass. So I just really wanted to share that with us today, to remind us that we have to have faith and believe what God says. I'll give you another biblical example. When we look at Joseph, you know, God promised him. He gave him all these dreams. He told him he was going to be great. And he showed him how the other weeds and stalks were bowing down to him. So basically, he was promising him greatness. But Joseph did not see it at the time. And instead of things going in the way in which he would have thought they would have gone because of the promises God made him, they look like they went from bad to worse. You know, he is sold by his brothers into Egypt. He is put into prison, and it would have been so easy for him to give up faith, to just get discouraged. But instead, he holds to the promises of God, even in prison. And we know through the passage of time that Joseph does get to be second in command in Egypt, and his dreams and visions come to pass. So we have to stand firm in our faith, without wavering, without doubting, and we will see the promise come to pass. I thank you guys for listening. This has been LaWanda Shields with 2 Cute Life Lessons, talking about why it's imperative that we hold on to the profession of our faith. And I'll see you guys in the next.